Hey everyone, welcome to day 75 of building the flight booking engine. Today, I want to focus on deploying the front end. In this modern world, deploying has become easier than it was in the past. I want to deploy the front end in preparation for giving this project to some of the people I work with to test it so that I can start refining a number of features and make it usable for them. This is going to happen very, very soon. Last week, I intended to finish this project and wrap up, but life is very unpredictable and you can't know what will happen. So I failed to complete it. I'll try to do so this week. So let me go to the browser. But before that, I tried to do a test deploy, okay? And I discovered I had so many bugs, okay? And I had gotten myself into a loop, okay? Of always fixing it, fixing it, pushing it, okay? And yet that would have been resolved by a very, very simple command, okay? Because my builds kept failing on Vercel. Maybe let me show you. And if I didn't mention, we are deploying to Vercel. So if you don't have an account on Vercel, you can check it out, okay? They have very fair free tier, okay, that you can use for testing out your projects. So like you can see, I created a number of Airbound Ventures projects and I tested them out, okay? So you can see this was 5 hours ago today, but they kept failing, okay? And I made a mistake, not a mistake, maybe I was just in a rush or something. I would always do something, okay? And then push, okay? Then it fails. Look at the build error, come back, fix, push, it fails. But this was becoming too much. And the solution would have been to do this, okay? To run npm run build on my local machine. So when I hit enter, in case there's any error, of course, right now I've fixed all errors. Like you're going to see the commit messages. I'm going to push to the repo and you'll see the commit messages. You'll see that I was fixing a number of issues, okay? Just look through the changes and you'll be able to identify the issues, okay? So you see, of course, right now it has passed, okay? But before it wasn't. For example, I'm going to show you something. If I go to for the front end, okay? Front end, source, then I go to, I think app, then auth, then reset password. In reset password, I had, I think no, it wasn't here. Was it? Yes, inside reset password here, okay? I'm really looking for something called suspense. Yes, this is the one. I was going to wonder what has happened to my code base. So inside this component, okay, I was just, let me show you. I was calling, okay, and executing the reset password the usual way, like you saw me implementing it, okay? But when I ran npm run build, I faced an error, okay, because of use such params, okay? So use such params or parameters generally, okay, are things which are dynamic, okay? You can't know them at build time. You only know them when a user is actually passing this parameter, okay? In this case, the search param I was looking for is token. So the build failed, and this was common everywhere, okay, in the project. Not everywhere, but in most common places. Like I've said, I have pushed the code to GitHub. Make sure you check it and see what's up, okay? Look at the changes. So according to the build logs, I was advised to import suspense, okay, and wrap the component around suspense. So what I did, I left the previous functionality in this function called reset password form and had this new React component called reset password page, okay, with this suspense, okay. I think this suspense, and this is the actual fallback, okay, that when data, okay, when anything, okay, like the URLs are being discovered, URL search params are being discovered later, okay, we can show this loading indicator. So what is suspense in brief? Suspense lets you display a fallback until its children have finished loading. So the children of suspense in this case is reset password form, okay, which is responsible for picking such params, okay. That is a good thing because at build time, there will be no such params. That would mean the build would fail. So yeah, this was a good catch by the compiler. I liked it. So until such params are available, okay, we shall have this div with the text saying loading. I think this is a good thing. So let's go on to deploy. Again, I said before going to deploy, make sure you simply run npm run build. As simple as that. So that you know that you have no issues. Then let's go back to Vercel. Okay, on Vercel, of course, if you've taken long without using it, like me, you'll find that the user interface has changed a little bit, which is not a bad thing. Okay, it's not a bad thing. We can always navigate ourselves around it. So yeah, it's time for me now to navigate. So if I take away my face from here, maybe drag it on this other side. You see this button saying add new. Let me zoom in a bit. It says add new. So when I click, it gives us options, a project, a domain, a store integration, or a team member. So if I click on project, it says let's build something new. Okay, I'm being asked to import a Git repository. Okay, of course, right now I configured this 5 hours ago, but let me see if I can show you how to pick it up from GitHub. So if I click here and pick something else, okay, then come back and pick this other one. Yeah, I'm thinking about how to undo it, okay, so that you're able to know how to work around it. So let me try to delete everything concerning it. See settings, delete project. Okay. I want to show you how to connect to GitHub from scratch. It's actually way easy, like you're going to see. So I'll delete this. Okay. Delete this one too. Scroll to the bottom. Delete project. Paste that. Copy this. Paste. Click delete. Click on this one. Also delete. You are logged in as, okay. So let me refresh the page. Okay. This is still there. I need all of them to be deleted. Funny enough, I told myself this is going to be a very short stream, but look at me. I have a suggestion. Every weekend, if possible, I want to stream something concerning system design. either Saturday, Friday, I mean Saturday or Sunday, and go really deep into it. Okay, so those have been deleted. So if I say add project, okay, wow, it's still there. Crazy. Okay, I thought I would be able to remove it. Okay, but if your GitHub account has not been added, click on add GitHub account. Okay, let's start from there. Okay, so click on add, where is that? Click add GitHub account. Okay, I want to behave as though this is my first time using Vercel. Okay, then you can choose an organization probably. Okay, I will choose where do you want to install Vercel? I don't want any of these. Okay, so I have two-factor authentication. Sometimes I find it hard to share such things during meetings. Now I wonder, I'm like, you in a meeting, I mean in a live stream. Why am I calling it a meeting? And then you have to type such a code, a sensitive code. Let me try. Let's see. Okay, done. So you see, I'm being asked saying Vercel for GitHub automatically deploys your PRs to Vercel. Preview every PR live without any configuration required. So it's, yeah, it's good. So here you asked, okay, to give repository access. Okay, again, go to here, okay, and click on add GitHub account. That is if you've not added before, okay, your GitHub account. Or if you have a new repository you want to add, click on add GitHub account. You'll be requested to authenticate or log in into GitHub, and then you can come to this page, okay, depending on when you're watching this, and you can either give access to all repositories or select a few repositories. So like you can see, I have 2 repositories selected as of now. Okay, Airbound Ventures. Okay, this is the private one, but it's the public one that I have shared with you guys. You can use that one, and I click save. Okay, so I have been redirected back. After being redirected back, okay, those repositories I've given access to will appear here. If you give access to all repositories, you'll find all of them here. Then I can click import. Okay, project name says Airbound Ventures, so I'll say Airbound Ventures sample. Okay, but I am going to actually change this, okay, later, because there are things I don't want to share here. Okay, then for the root directory, okay, I'll click on edit. Okay, then I'll choose the front-end directory in our project. Remember, we have under Airbound Ventures, we have the backend, which is in Fast API. We have the front end, we have mobile, shared, we have Terraform, so many other things. So I'll choose front end, okay? Because that in front end is where we shall find our package.json, and technically, let me just say the entry point, okay, that Vercel needs for building a Next.js application is inside this directory. In case you're not following this project structure, it is very okay. All right, then click continue. Okay, then build an output settings. I won't need to do that. Okay, I'll leave them default. By default, Vercel will run npm run build. Okay, so I won't be changing that. After that, environment variables. Okay, to put your environment variables, simply go to your project. Okay, this is the wrong one. I mean to open this other one. Okay, go to your project. Okay, and copy from your .env. Okay, of course, do not share it. Okay, in my case, I'm going to copy from env.example just to show you what to do. So assuming these are my environment variables, I copy all these like so, close, go back to Vercel and click in this first cell, okay? Should see the cursor blinking into it and paste, okay? So when you paste, it will automatically create other fields and fill in for you, okay? After that, once we are done, in fact, there's another option. I think saying import.env. You can import a file if you like to. So after that, I can close this. I can now click on deploy. So we give it time to do its magic. It's actually quite easy. It's not complicated in any way. So yeah, but make sure your environment variables are correct. For my case, you can see like the base API URL is pointing to localhost, but that is wrong. Okay, because I want to protect my backend and I don't want to share it. Okay, because for costs, reasons of cost and security, I'm going to change this after the stream. Okay, but this is what you would do. So deploy the backend to AWS the way I showed you in the beginning of this journey. Okay, I think within the first maybe 20 or 30 videos, look for a video in the playlist which says deploying the backend to AWS. We automated it. We actually built a CI/CD kind of workflow. Okay, so you can look at it and learn from it. Okay, then that URL is what you use. Okay, here. Okay, so what you use here. So it's saying, yeah, you just deployed a new project. Okay, so it's been successful. I don't know why they haven't shown us a screenshot. They already show us nice screenshots. I have refreshed the page to see if they give us. I love them, but it's not here. Okay, so let me just click continue to dashboard instead. Says again, no screenshot available. Really? This is the first time I'm not seeing a screenshot, by the way. The other is where they give screenshots. Let me click on this to see if we had success. So yeah, there we are. Okay, some images took slightly longer to load, but yeah, this is the deployment. Okay, and for you who is watching right now, let me copy and drop it in the chat so you can test it out. Okay, for yourself. But yeah, that is it. Very easy to deploy. Okay, and this frontend has changed in many ways. I'm going to change so many things, but I'm not going to make live streams about them. Going forward, I want to focus on wrapping up the backend, and I want to go into system design heavily. System design, AI engineering, microservices. Okay. So yeah, cool stuff is coming up. We have reached the end of this project. A few things that I want to show. In case there's anything else, I'll show. It will be really minimal stuff. Really, okay, not minimal, but once in a while. Okay, something which I think should be known by at least everybody who has been following this playlist and has been learning from it. If I try to log in, okay, it has worked, but the backend, of course, it won't pick the backend. Why? Because of what's it called, the keys, okay, that we set up on the backend. Let me just show you to prove to you that. Okay, so continue. So you see, says this set can't be reached. Okay, because all this needs a call to the backend. Okay, yeah. So take note of that. What else can I show you? But once you set up your environment variables correctly, okay, and point to the right values, you'll get amazing results. Okay, so yeah, deploying to Vercel is very easy. Now going forward, if I push to GitHub, okay, Vercel will automatically pick up those changes, okay, and update for me, okay. In case you want to do a manual deployment, I think there is an option for that. Where is it? I'm also going to show you about domains, production deployment, deployment settings. Okay, so in deployment settings, look at this. There's something they used to have here. Okay, look at this. Let me zoom in. There's observability. That's a good thing. There's analytics already built in for you. You don't have to build that for the front end. Yeah, so let me go to if you click this, of course it takes you to the actual URL, okay, for the stuff. So, but of course, if you try to search, it won't work. Why? Because again, I've told you the front end is not I mean the backend is not connected appropriately. But once you fix that backend URL, you're good to go. I want to show you something else. Okay, if you go to deployments, and then I click on this, I should see redeploy. So you see this button called redeploy. You can redeploy manually. So let me. So you see, it actually asks you, do you want to deploy as a preview? Okay, pre-production, or do you want to deploy to production? Okay. Many times actually when I'm testing, I'll have previews for my branches. Okay, like when I add a new feature, I have a preview for those branches, for those feature branches. Okay, we can deploy to production. So if I click redeploy, so this is how you can do it manually. Okay, but you don't have to. So it's counting first the duration, 6 seconds, 7. Okay, if you want to look at the details, I think you can open here. Okay, see the build log says it's now installing dependencies. In case there's an issue, it will actually show you here an issue, and you will have to fix it. Okay, you'll have to fix it. So you see it says creating an optimized production build. This is quite easy. Okay, so it's not generating the static pages. It's finalizing, collecting build traces. Yeah, it's pretty much done. Mm-hmm. I think it's done. Yeah, it's done in less than a minute. So if I click Vist, okay, so there we are. Okay, still no screenshot available. What's happening this time to Vercel? You already show a nice screenshot of your index page. All right, I think I've achieved the purpose of this. So after this stream, I am going to delete it. In fact, let me delete it now. And I'm going to, maybe before that, let me show you something. Where is that? If I go to this project, if I click on this title, okay, and go to, is it settings? Let me check. Go to settings. There's something I'm looking for. I wanted to show you concerning the domains. Okay, here it is. Okay, so you go to overview, then domains. So when I click on domains, okay, you can either buy a domain if you want to buy from them. If I open this in a new tab, so you say find a domain for your project. So if I search, for example, I want to buy arrowboundventures.com. Okay, then I search arrowbound like that. Okay, so you see it's unavailable. The domain has been taken. Okay, that's because actually I bought it some time back. But if you already have a domain, click on add existing. Okay, then for example, if it exists, you can say arrow bound ventures.com. Okay, then they're asking you redirect airbound ventures to www.airboundventures.com. They think it's recommended, so I'll accept that. Then they're asking you connect to which environment. Is it production or the preview? Okay, and if it is preview, which branch? Okay, for now there are no branches, but me, I'll say production. Okay, or you can redirect to another domain if you want, but me, I'll simply connect to a what? An environment and click save. You're going to see how easy it is to set up your domain. Okay, so it says domain added to project. Okay, so right now, of course, it hasn't been set up. Okay, but now what we need to do is to, well, Vercel has changed. If I click this, okay, I'm looking for the domain information, like the air record. I wonder where they keep those records in these days. So let me see. Where are they? Where are those records? Because they are records that we're supposed to be given, okay? The air records that we copy and then paste on the domain registrar, okay? Okay, yeah, finally, I've got it. So it's here. I clicked on learn more and it revealed them. I was wondering where they are, okay? So they are DNS, this Vercel DNS or DNS records. Usually you buy from another provider. So like me, I've always used domain.com, okay? I use domain.com for buying my domains. And here, you copy this value, okay? And go to your domain provider and register this as an A record. It's a type A, okay? And the name is an art, okay? So you can copy, paste, copy this value and paste. You'll be good to go. And you give it some time, okay? Be patient. Sometimes it can take even a day to propagate an A record. If you go to this other one, okay? So this one is a CNAME, canonical name. If you don't know what a canonical name is, what an A record is, you can do a simple search, okay, on the internet. It's not complex. All right, so yeah, that's how you deploy to Vercel. It's quite easy. And like I've shown you, this is domain.com where I always buy my domains. So I hope those of you who have learned and have been watching and learning along, you have moved a long way while building this project. And you've learned so many concepts. All right, so yeah, bye for now. Continue learning and grinding every day. See you in the next video or stream. Bye for now.